The silence after her question was louder than any scream. "You pretended to be poor just to marry me?" she asked again, her voice shaking now. "Who are you?" We were standing in the living room of the small apartment she thought I struggled to afford. The same apartment where we'd eaten instant noodles. The same place where she'd insisted on paying half the rent when money got tight. I didn't answer immediately. Because the truth, once spoken, would destroy the version of me she loved. "My name is Adrian Cole. And for the past 2 years, I had been lying to the woman I planned to spend my life with. Not about loving her. Never about that. But about everything else. I met Elena on a crowded bus during a rainstorm. She offered me half her umbrella. No flirting. No games. Just kindness. She thought I was broke. I let her believe it. At the time, I told myself it was harmless. Even noble. I'd grown up surrounded by people who loved my money before they ever learned my name. Women who laughed too loudly at my jokes. Friends who disappeared when the checks stopped coming. So when Elena talked about her dreams, simple ones, honest ones, I panicked. I didn't want to be chosen for what I had. I wanted to be chosen for who I was when there was nothing to offer. So I wore cheap clothes. I talked about budgeting. I let her believe I worked a low-paying job with no future. And she stayed. When my phone cracked, she surprised me with a second-hand replacement. When I skipped meals, she cooked. When I apologized for not being able to afford a ring, she kissed my hand and said, "Love isn't jewelry." That's when I knew. She was real. But the lie didn't stay small. The night before our wedding, my assistant showed up at the wrong address. Luxury car. Suit worth more than the apartment. Elena saw everything. Now she stood in front of me, eyes filled with betrayal instead of love. "Answer me," she demanded. Was any of it real? My chest tightened. "Yes," I said quietly. "All of it." She laughed bitterly. "You expect me to believe that?" I took a step closer. "I pretended to be poor," I said. "Because I was terrified of being rich and alone again." Her hands trembled. "So this was some kind of test," she snapped. "No," I replied. "It was fear." She looked away, wiping her eyes. "You took away my choice," she whispered. "You decided for me what I deserved to know." She was right. And that was the part one couldn't defend. But then she asked the question that cut deeper than anger. "Do you even know who I am, or was I just your experiment?" I opened my mouth to answer. When my phone buzzed. A message that would make everything worse. Because the truth wasn't finished with us yet. The message on my phone felt like a final blow. I didn't even need to open it to know what it was. Elena saw my face change. "What now?" she asked. "What else haven't you told me?" I locked the screen and set the phone down between us, face down, like it was something dangerous. "That," I said carefully, "is my father." Her expression hardened. "Of course it is. He's been looking for me," I continued. "I cut him off when I decided to live like this. Like me." She let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "So I married a man running away from his life?" "No," I replied. "You married a man trying to finally live one." That only seemed to hurt her more. "You don't get to reframe this," she said. "You lied every single day. You let me worry about money. You let me feel guilty for wanting small things." "I know," I said, voice low. "And I hate myself for that." She turned away, pacing the room. "Do you know how many times I defended you?" she said. "To my friends? My mother? They said I was settling. That I deserved more." I swallowed. "And I told them," she went on, "that you were honest. That you were different." She stopped pacing and faced me again. That's the cruelest part, she whispered. You were everything I wanted. And now I don't know what's real. I stepped closer but didn't touch her. Ask me anything, I said. Anything at all. I'll answer. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she asked quietly, did you ever look at me and feel superior? Like you were doing charity? The question stunned me. No, I said immediately. Never. If anything, I was terrified you'd realize how small I felt next to you. Her brow furrowed. Small? Yes, I admitted. Because you loved without conditions. And I didn't trust that someone like me deserved that. Her eyes softened for just a second, then hardened again. You should have trusted me, she said. I know. Silence fell again. This time, it wasn't explosive. It was exhausted. She sank onto the couch, rubbing her temples. Do you know what hurts the most? She said. It's not the money. It's that I don't know if I fell in love with you, or the version you curated for me. I knelt in front of her. That version was still me, I said. Just stripped of the armor. She looked down at me, conflicted. Then why keep the armor at all? She asked. Because I was afraid you'd leave if you knew everything, I thought. But I didn't say that. Instead, I said the truth I hadn't admitted out loud before. Because I didn't trust myself to be loved honestly, I said. And that's on me. Not you. Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. She didn't wipe them away. I need time, she said. I don't know if love survives something like this. I nodded. Slowly. Painfully. I'll give you all the time you need, I said. She stood up, walked to the door, then paused. One more thing, she said without turning around. Yes? If I decide to walk away, she continued, will you chase me with money and explanations? I shook my head. No. What will you do? I'll let you go, I said. Because if you come back. I want it to be because you chose me. Not my truth. Not my wealth. She opened the door. Before stepping out, she turned back one last time. I loved you, she said. My chest tightened. I still do, I replied. The door closed softly behind her. I stood there alone, realizing something terrifying. I had finally told the truth. But honesty doesn't guarantee forgiveness. And sometimes, real love doesn't end with a happy answer. It ends with waiting.